Hello students, welcome to this online course of hydraulic engineering. So today we are going to start our new chapter, which is rapidly varied flow, and rapidly varied flow is also known as hydraulic jump. So in the previous chapter, the name of the chapter was gradually varied flow. So in that chapter, what was happening when the flow was occurring? The depth of flow was not changing very rapidly, or you can say the rate of change of depth with respect to the length of the channel was very small. But in this chapter we will see like when the this length will be very small and the change in depth will be very high. So in what circumstances this jump will occur? So why this is termed as jump? Because whenever this phenomena is there or this condition will be there, the water will jump from one depth to another depth. So at that particular location we can say jump has occurred. So let us see rapidly varied flow or hydraulic jump. So hydraulic jump is one subject which has extensively been studied in the field of hydraulic engineering. So this chapter is this topic is of very much, it has a potential of research. Okay, so still various research are going on, and still we are not able to have the data regarding like 100% data regarding the hydraulic jump. So this is very complex flow. Okay, so it is an intriguing and interesting phenomenon that has caught the imagination of many research workers since its first description by Leonardo da Vinci. So still, like as I've told you, it is very complex, and various researchers have various theories, and it is based upon the like facts are there, experiments are there, but more or less what is happening actually, it is the imagination of that particular researcher. So accordingly, in line with their experiment and the results obtained from the experiments, they have imagined some results and some phenomena, and they have tried to explain this. But still it is like one of the topics that need like extensive and comprehensive research, so that we can know more and in a clear manner. So it was the Italian engineer Bidon. In 1881, it is credited to him the first experimental investigation of this phenomena. Okay, so in the examination, you will not be asked about the engineers, but still to have some touch with the topic, you have to have know the researchers' names who have experiment performed the first experiment. So in general, you can, if somebody is asking, and if you are able to respond this, so the impact will be very high. And since 1881, then considerable research effort has gone in the study of this subject, that is the hydraulic jump. And the literature on this topic is vast and ever expanding, because as I've told you, it is like experiments are there, but too much imagination is there, because the experiment and to perform the experiment and to understand the phenomena is very complex. So what is the main reason for such continued interest in this topic? It is its immense practical utility in hydraulic engineering and allied fields. So its utility is very high in hydraulic engineering as well as the allied field. Allied means the fields which are related to the hydraulic engineering. Okay, so in chemical engineering also, you can have the what the use of this hydraulic jump. So a hydraulic jump primarily serve as energy dissipator to dissipate the excess energy of flowing water downstream of hydraulic structure such as spillway and sluice gate. So what is one of the main uses of this? It is a energy dissipator. We can use it as a energy dissipator. That means if we are having a like flow is carrying a huge amount of energy, but we want to dissipate that energy for our use. So what we can use? We can take the help of hydraulic jump, and it will help in dissipating that excess energy, so that the remaining flow will have less energy, and we can use that in water or the flow as per our requirements. So let us see some of the uses. So first use you can see as one of the most important uses, the it is the energy dissipator, efficient operation of flow measurement flumes, mixing of chemicals. So we will see how these can be performed to aid intense mixing and gas transfer in chemical process. So mixing is one of, like, one was the energy dissipation, second can be the mixing, and in the desalination of seawater. This is also very important, because the water in the sea will have a huge amount of salt in it. So we have to remove that salt so that we can use that water for our use, for our requirements we can use it. So desalination is that process, and it can be performed with the help of hydraulic jump in the aeration of streams which are polluted by biodegradable waste. So see, you can see it is very important. Also this use is also very important. So these are some of the uses of the hydraulic jump. So you can see how important this is, because it is having a various applications also. Now let us try to understand the what is a hydraulic jump exactly. So this is a definition sketch of hydraulic jump. So you can see this is a section, this is section number 2, this is your channel bed. Okay, so flow is happening like this. So here you can see the depth is y1, and here the depth is y2. So y2 is greater than y1, and this significant difference is there in y2 and y1. So you can see the water has been jumping, like it is like a jump from y1 to y2. That is why this hydraulic jump name has been provided to this phenomena. So if depths are different, so velocity will also be different. Okay, so you can see huge amount of energy will be lost here. Okay, so from section 1 to section 2, length is termed as the length of jump, LJ, and you can see the loss is also there, because the main purpose was the energy dissipation. That means the energy at E2 will be, at section 2, that is E2 will be lesser than the energy at 1, and this loss is termed as loss of energy, and it is shown as or denoted as EL. Okay, so a hydraulic jump occurs when a supercritical stream meets a subcritical stream of sufficient depth. So where these two terms are very important. It is supercritical. Here the flow is supercritical, and here the flow will be subcritical. So when a supercritical stream meets a subcritical stream of sufficient depth, then the resulting phenomena will show the hydraulic jump. Okay, and the supercritical stream jump up meet up its alternate depth. So we will see what is this alternate depth, or you can see the sequent depth. Sequent depth is the term related to your hydraulic jump. Now, while doing so, it generates considerable disturbance in the form of large-scale eddies and a reverse flow roller, with the result that the jump falls short of its alternate depth. Okay, so alternate depth means at that depth the energy will be same. So what is happening? Y1 is one depth, correspondingly the energy is E1. So this the flow will try to achieve same energy. Okay, but due to this huge disturbance of eddies, and you can see the energy is being lost, it will not be able to achieve that depth. Okay, so this figure 1 is a schematic sketch of a typical hydraulic jump in a horizontal channel. Now section 1, where the incoming supercritical stream undergoes an abrupt rise in itself, forming the commencement of the jump, is called the toe of the jump. So these terms are important. So this is toe. Toe will be at section 1. Okay, so this section is termed as toe. The jump propers consist of a steep change in water surface elevation with a reverse flow roller on the major part. So this roller will be there, and the roller entrains considerable quantity of air and the surface has white, frothy and choppy appearance. So this thing you have already seen, but you might not be knowing the name of that particular phenomena. So there will be white, frothy and choppy appearance. Okay, froth will be there, huge froth. You will see, you can easily see the froth, and where jump will be there. Now the jump, while essentially steady, will normally oscillate about a mean position in the longitudinal direction, and the surface will be uneven. So surface is going to be uneven and it will oscillate about a mean location in a longitudinal direction. Now the section 2, which lies beyond the roller and with an essentially level water surface, is called the end of the jump. So starting with the toe, this is the end of the jump, and the distance between section 1 and 2 is the length of jump. This I have already told you. Now the initial depth of the supercritical stream y1 and y2 is the final depth after the jump of the subcritical stream. So these two depths are very important. We will see in the coming lectures. Now as indicated earlier, y2 will be smaller than the depth alternate to y1. This I have already told you. The two depths y1 and y2 at the ends of the jumps are called sequent depth. So this is not alternate depth. Alternate depth was used in the like previous chapters, but here it is sequent depth, and you already know the meaning of alternate depth. So this is the sequent depth. So that also we are going to see. Now due to high turbulence and shear action of the roller, there is considerable loss of energy in the jump between section 1 and 2. In view of high energy loss, the nature of which is difficult to estimate, the energy equation cannot be applied to section 1 and section 2 to relate the various flow parameters because energy is being lost. So if energy would have been constant, we can easily use the energy equation, conservation of energy, but here the loss is there. So what we can do, we can apply before section 1 and after section 2, because in between section 1 and 2 energy loss is there, and the phenomena, the process is very complex. So we cannot easily like put on a theory that this is happening there. Okay, now in such situation the use of momentum equation will be suitable assumption in advocated. So if energy conservation cannot be like applied, what we are going to do, we can solve the problems with the help of momentum conservation. In fact, the hydraulic jump is a typical example where a judicious use of momentum equation yields some meaningful results. So wherever there is a need of like energy equation, or we want to apply some like mechanics formulas, applications, mechanics theorems, what we are going to do, we will be using momentum equation only. And you should be knowing the reason why we are doing so, because the energy loss is being there. So in the tomorrow's lecture we will see the derivation for the secant depth and energy loss in during the hydraulic jump. So this is all for today. Thank you.